Chapter 2083. Say that I drugged her, and that I wanted to harm my own child. Say it out loud and see who in this room would believe you? Who would believe that I would drug my own child and kill my own child? Ning Qiutong frowned, and was about to speak, but Ningxi held her hand. Ningxi's gaze swept over everyone calmly, and the corners of her mouth rose slightly, revealing a cold smile. So what if I did it? Even if I poison her to death, what can you do to me, let alone the child? The moment Ningxi finished speaking, the expressions of everyone in the room changed. Su Yan, who had been enduring with a complex expression, was full of shock and disbelief. Xiaozi, you really did it. Although the truth was in front of him, he still couldn't accept it after hearing Ningxi admit it. Zhuang Lingyu and Ning Yaohua were like wild beasts who saw blood, tearing at her crazily. You beast! Beast! What sin did our Ning family commit? How could there be such a vicious bastard? You didn't even spare your own brother. Oh my God! How dare she admit it? What else can she do? The evidence is conclusive, she can't escape. She didn't show any remorse after doing such a thing. Her attitude is so arrogant. She's too much. At this time, not only Zhuang Lingyu and Ning Yaohua, but Zheng Minjun and Su Hongguang's faces also became extremely ugly. Zheng Minjun rushed out and started scolding. You vicious woman! Even if you like our Su Yan and want to marry into the Su family, you can't kill Su Yan's child. This is Su Yan's flesh and blood. How can you be so vicious? Now you only did it to the child. If he really marries into our Su family in the future, if I don't like him, you'll harm me too. Su Hongguang didn't expect that as a descendant of the Zhuang family, Ningxi's character would be so bad. This wasn't a small matter of jealousy, this was murder. After killing someone, she still had a calm expression without any guilt. How scary was this woman? Zhuang Lingyu clutched her chest that was aching with anger. You're worse than a beast. You're so despicable, not even 1/10,000th of Shueluo. You even had the wishful thinking to marry into the Su family and steal Shueluo's husband. Look at what you are. Are you worthy? Su Hongguang said gravely. I'm sorry, Yaohua. Although Ningxi is your biological daughter, this is a matter of life and death. I'm afraid we can't let it go so easily. Zheng Minjun immediately screamed in excitement. She killed my grandson, of course I have to call the police. Ningxi raised her eyebrows. Oh, call the police? Seeing Ningxi's fearless appearance, Ning Yaohua was exasperated. Bastard! I don't care who's behind you or who's supporting you. If this matter is not resolved, don't even think about going anywhere. At first he had some scruples about the Zhuang family, but when he thought of the Zhuang family's strict rules, if the Zhuang family knew what Ningxi had done, she would be the first to be punished. Zhuang Lingyu sneered. You're so fearless because you have a rich backer behind you. Even Zhuang Lingyu, Ningxi's biological mother, said so. The others in the room looked at Ningxi with even more strange expressions. Rumor has it that she has a sugar daddy. So it's true. This kind of person actually wants to marry our Su Yan. What a joke. Little celebrities nowadays really don't have any self-awareness. They're all sharpening their brains and racking their brains just to marry into a rich family. They dare to use any dirty methods. They don't even know what kind of trash they are. Chapter 2084. Hearing the sarcasm of the Su family's relatives, Ning Yaohua's face turned pale. He just hoped that this dirty stain would disappear from the world forever. He was a little hesitant at first, thinking that he couldn't wash his dirty linen in public. If it got out, he would lose face. But at this moment he had made up his mind to send Ningxi to jail and remove this evil creature from everyone's sight. Otherwise he didn't know how many shameful things would happen in the future. Seeing that Ningxi was doomed this time, Zheng Minjun was furious because her grandson was killed, so she immediately shed all pretenses of cordiality. Ningxi, don't be delusional. As long as I'm alive, you can never marry Su Yan in this life. Hearing those words, Ning Qiutong was about to explode. If Ningxi hadn't held her down, she would have gone berserk. She knew that Su Yan was Ningxi's biggest wound. Initially, she was worried about Ningxi, but she saw that Ningxi was smiling instead of getting angry. She lowered her eyes and slightly curved the corners of her lips. That smile set off the girl's exquisite little face, and it was extremely stunning, Ningxi lowered her eyes and chuckled. Then she raised her eyes and looked at Zhang Minjun. Sorry, I have high standards. I'm afraid your son is not worthy of my attention. Besides, I got married 2 years ago, and I have no interest in bigamy. Mrs. Su, you're overthinking it. You. How dare you? Zhang Minjun was furious. How dare this bitch say that she had high standards and look down on Su Yan? As soon as she finished speaking, she suddenly noticed the second half of Ningxi's words and froze. What did you say? You're married? Su Yan's expression instantly changed when he heard Ningxi's last sentence. Ningxi was married? And she got married 2 years ago. Su Yan had no time to think and blurted out. Cece, what do you mean? You're married? How is that possible? Ningxi glanced at Su Yan indifferently. What? Do I need to report to you about my marriage? The others in the room didn't seem to expect this result either. They all looked at each other in surprise and disgust. No way. Ningxi was already married? I've never heard of it. Nonsense. They were in the entertainment industry, so this kind of thing had to be kept secret. After getting married, it was worthless. Besides, we don't even know which old man she's married yet. Would she have the face to announce it? This girl is so fearless. Don't tell me she's relying on her husband? TSK, she's just an actress. Besides, she wasn't that popular 2 years ago. How could she marry into a good family? At most, he's just a nouveau riche. Hearing that Ningxi was married, Ningxiuelua was surprised, but she soon regained her sarcasm. A married bitch could never compete with her for Su Yan. Ningyahua's face was also full of contempt and disdain. Ningxi, let me tell you. I don't care what kind of trash you married or what kind of backing you have. Even if the Heavenly King were to come today, it would be useless. Just at this moment, a series of steady and powerful footsteps sounded from afar. Almost at the moment when Ning Yahua's roar stopped, the door of the ward was pushed open by a slender finger. The person who came was tall and had a frosty face. His body was wrapped in the extremely cold pressure of a world of ice and snow. His cold eyes swept across everyone in the ward. His low, hoarse, and cold voice hovered in everyone's ears. Really? End of 8:00 p.m. Husband and wife abuse each other. Chapter 2085. The man was dressed in a tailored silver-gray custom-made suit with a meticulous white shirt exposed at the collar. The obsidian cufflinks on the cuffs exuded a cold luster. Originally, this suite was spacious enough to accommodate so many relatives and friends. But the moment the man stepped in, the whole space suddenly became cramped, and the overwhelming pressure of a superior shrouded the room. The moment he saw the man, Ning Yahua's arrogant expression froze as if petrified. As if he couldn't believe his eyes. Lu. Because he was too shocked. Lu couldn't say the next word for a long time. In the ward, the relatives of the two families who were pointing at Ningxi and mocking him just now became silent, as if someone had pinched their throats. They stared in disbelief at the man who only lived in legends and gossip after meals. The man who was so high up that even they, who were rich and noble, might not have a chance to meet in their lives, had actually appeared in front of them alive and well. In the early years, they didn't even know what this man looked like. It wasn't until the past 2 years, when Lu Tingxiao appeared in the public eye several times, that he was exposed. He was stuck on the bedside by the daughters of the capital's boudoirs, and was crowned with the title of the nation's husband. His popularity crushed all the male idols. Moreover, the man's real body was thousands of times more handsome than those blurry photos and videos. Especially the aura around him. It was so intimidating that it made one's heart numb. At this moment, he was wearing a large black trench coat outside his suit, looking travel-worn. Behind him was a man who looked like a cold assistant, and outside the ward, there were 2 rows of fully armed bodyguards. A murderous aura quickly spread in the air. Oh my God! It's Lu Tingxiao. Am I dreaming? Someone finally snapped out of his daze after an unknown amount of time. Everyone else also reacted. Quick, pinch me quick. Oh, so handsome. Much more handsome than in the photos. I'm going crazy. What the hell is going on? Why is Lu Tingxiao here? Not only those people, but Ningxi was also quite surprised. She didn't expect Lu Tingxiao to suddenly appear, and in such a high-profile way. Aren't you coming back the day after tomorrow? Ningxi subconsciously blurted out. Lu Tingxiao's gaze, which could almost freeze a person, fell on the girl's body. It was as if the first snow in spring had melted. He didn't reply, but stared at the girl with a frown. He took off his windbreaker and strode over to the girl. First he touched the girl's little hand, then he draped his jacket over her thin shoulders. His low, hoarse voice sounded slightly displeased. Didn't I say that the temperature has dropped recently? Ningxi looked down at her ankle-length woolen skirt. I've worn too much. Lu Tingxiao squeezed the girl's fingers. Your hands are cold. Ningxi. Alright, there was a kind of coldness that made her sweetheart feel that she was cold. At this moment, everyone in the ward was shocked. Hold hands. Lu Tingxiao even personally helped Ningxi put on his coat, and his words were so affectionate that it could melt people's hearts. Lu Tingxiao and Ningxi? He was about to go crazy. What was going on? However, what happened next shocked them even more. Chapter 2086. Lu Tingxiao took Ningxi's hand and ignored all the stunned gazes in the room. He walked through the crowd that automatically separated into two rows and walked up to Grandpa Ning. Then he called out, Grandpa. Grandpa? What did Lu Tingxiao just call Grandpa Ning? Looking at his grandson-in-law, Grandpa Ning nodded with relief. You're back. Sit down. Ning Yahua finally couldn't stand it anymore and rushed up to Ning Ziyuan. Dad, what's going on? You know Mr. Lu? Grandpa Ning looked at his son and the other relatives who looked as if they had seen a ghost. Don't make such a fuss. How can I not know my grandson-in-law? Grandson-in-law. Everyone in the room was almost numb from the shock. Cici did get married to Tingxiao 2 years ago. How is that possible? Ning Yahua was completely dumbfounded. When Cici just came back to China, the two had already started dating. Then they got married, but because of Cici's career, they didn't make it public, Grandpa Ning said matter-of-factly. But, Dad, it's such a big deal. Why didn't you tell me? Ning Yahua almost collapsed. Why should I tell you? Grandpa Ning asked. Ning Yahua almost suffocated. Hearing the conversation between Ning Ziyuan and Ning Yahua, everyone in the ward was stunned. My God. Ningxi's husband is Lu Tingxiao. Really? Lu Tingxiao called Grandpa Ning. Of course it's true. The girlfriend that Lu Tingxiao revealed to the public is Ningxi. At this point, everyone looked at each other in dismay. The Ning family's relatives looked at the Su family with a strange gaze. Ningxi was married long ago to the Lu family. How could she covet Su Yan? At this moment, a man who seemed to have his own light effect walked in with a smile and said leisurely, TSK, my sister-in-law just said that she has very high standards. The man was Lu Tingxiao's younger brother, Lu Jingli. Lu Jingli was an unusually high-profile guy, and he used to be in the entertainment industry, so everyone knew his face. When everyone heard Lu Jingli's words, their faces turned as black as the bottom of a pot. Please. His foresight was more than just high. I'm about to ascend to the heavens, all right? They had thought that Ningxi was just boasting. Who knew that she was clearly being modest? At this moment, the people with the ugliest expressions were probably the relatives of the Su family. After all, it was they who had just mocked Ningxi for trying to get into the Su family, by any means possible. Especially Zheng Minjun at this moment. Her face turned red as if she had been slapped hard in the face, and she couldn't say a word. Lu Jingli smiled like a flower. He first ran to greet the old man, then went to Ning Qiutong's side and said sweetly, You must be the beautiful aunt that my sister-in-law often talks about. Hello, auntie, I am Lu Jingli. Ning Qiutong was very happy. Hello. Thank you for taking care of Xiaoxi. She knew something about Xiaoxi and had told her many times to take a good look at her, but she really didn't expect that Xiaoxi's man was Lu Tingxiao. Chapter 2087. In the corner, Su Yan stared blankly at the scene in front of him. From the moment Lu Tingxiao walked up to Ningxi and took her hand, his mind went blank. He stared at the perfect couple and completely lost the ability to think. As for Ning Xuelua, who was lying on the sickbed, she was gloomy and silent. looking at Lu Tingxiao and Ningxi holding hands intimately, looking at the ring on Ningxi's neck that she had never noticed before, looking at Lu Tingxiao politely chatting with Grandpa Luo, looking at Lu Jingli and Ning Qiudong talking happily. The poison called jealousy crazily corroded her internal organs. How could it be? How could it be? The man Ningxi married was Lu Tingxiao. Lu Tingxiao. Young Master Lu, I'm Ning Yaohua, Cici's father. We met last time when you came to the Lu family to pick up Cici. Ning Yaohua felt that Lu Jingli was easy to talk to, so he hurriedly tried to get close to him. Damn it! No wonder Lu Jingli came to pick up Ningxi at his birthday party last time. At that time, he had always suspected that Ningxi had something to do with Lu Jingli, but he had never expected that it was not Lu Jingli but Lu Tingxiao. Now he was so regretful that he wanted to bang his head against the wall. Ning Qiudong looked at Ning Yaohua and sneered. Humph, you always treat that ungrateful wretch as a clown. Seeing that she married into the Su family, you feel that she has married into a good family and want to show off all day long. Now you regret it when you see that Cici has married into a good family? Ning Yaohua's face turned pale. Why should I regret it? I'm happy for Cici that she has married into a good family. Ning Qiudong laughed out loud. Who was the one who threatened to call the police just now and said that even God couldn't save her? At this time, Zhuang Lingyu finally couldn't bear it anymore. She has done such a vicious thing. Is it wrong for us to do so? Then she looked at Lu Tingxiao and said, President Lu, no matter how powerful the Lu family is, you can't ignore the law. It's a fact that Ningxi has killed 2 people. At this time, Ning Xuelua on the sickbed clutched her stomach and groaned in pain. Everyone's attention was immediately diverted, and they surrounded Ning Xuelua. Xueluo, what happened to you? My stomach hurts. Ning Xuelua's face was pale. She was on the verge of death. She looked like a withered flower. You've been poisoned too deeply. The doctor said it would be a little painful. Bear with it. Sigh, what a sin. Seeing Ning Xuelua like this, people in the ward looked at Ningxi in a different light. Ningxi was living a good life now, but Ning Xuelua was hurt like this. Now she was bullying others just because she married Lu Tingxiao. That was too much. Zhuang Lingyu walked quickly to the bed, her face full of anxiety and heartache. At this moment, Zheng Minjun took the opportunity to say, Boss Lu, I'm afraid you don't know yet. This woman is very vicious. Because of a small conflict, not only did she kill her biological mother's child, but she also poisoned the flesh and blood of the Su family. How could such a person be fit to marry into the Lu family? You're simply tarnishing the family's prestige. Ning Xueluo's face was filled with panic and despair, but her hidden eyes were staring at Ningxi with incomparable resentment. Great. Just nice. Ningxi. This time, I'll make you lose everything and let you taste the feeling of falling from heaven to hell. Lu Tingxiao didn't even look at those who kept stirring up trouble. He lowered his eyes and focused on his little wife next to him. Yes, you're right. You don't deserve her. Zheng Minjun cheered up and thought that Lu Tingxiao had taken her words seriously. But the next second Lu Tingxiao continued to say, the Lu family and I don't deserve Xiaoxi. Everyone. They were all speechless. Lu Jingli. He knew it. Chapter 2088. Seeing Lu Tingxiao's attitude, Ning Xuelua's face suddenly changed. She clenched her fists tightly. The next second, when she raised her head, she was full of grief and indignation. Boss Lu, I understand that you are close to my sister, and you will naturally side with her. But I really hope that you can take a good look at the people around you. Maybe she is not what you think at all. I let my sister down first. No matter what she does to me, I will accept it. But what about my mother? What did my mother do wrong? I will never allow anyone to hurt my family, not even my sister. Boss Lu, if you don't believe us, you can ask the police to find out the truth. When you know the whole truth, I believe you will make a fair judgment. Oh Ningxi, you have killed 2 people. I'd like to see if you can still keep your position as the First Lady. Ning Xuelua's words made everyone nod secretly. At the same time, they also sighed at Ning Xuelua's filial piety. Lu Jingli rubbed his chin and clicked his tongue. It was a little eye-opening. He had seen shameless people, But he had never seen such a shameless person. No wonder he could coax these two idiots from the Ning family, even though they weren't related by blood. The most shameless people were invincible. And sister-in-law's matter this time might be a little tricky. Ningxi raised her eyes and looked at the man next to her. Next, it's my battlefield. The man understood what she meant at a glance and nodded slightly. In the face of everyone's opprobrium, Ningxi seemed to be in her own back garden. She looked calm and composed. She glanced at Ning Xuelua, who was indignantly seeking justice for her mother on the sickbed. She said unhurriedly, I happen to have something here that I want to give to the police. Hearing Ningxi's words, Ning Xuelua narrowed her eyes, but soon recovered her calmness. Sister, if you have something to say, you can say it directly. I think everyone wants to hear your explanation. Oh, explanation? In this case, no matter what she explained, it would only make things worse. I just found something interesting. Ningxi curled her lips with a faint smile and looked a little surprised. I didn't expect that Miss Ning, who has always been a lady, would like to play with such exciting things as motorcycles. When Ning Xueluo heard this, her eyes suddenly tensed up. Ningxi continued, Not long ago, I met a famous retired racer. When I was chatting with him, I accidentally heard him mention that Miss Ning had learned motorcycles from him for a long time. When Ning Xuelua heard this, it was as if she had been reminded of something sad. She stroked her flat stomach with a sad face. Pregnant people, whether it's their taste or preferences, will be very strange, and even they can't explain the changes. At that time, I was bored at home, and suddenly saw on TV that riding a motorcycle was very cool, so I casually went to learn about it. I don't know why sister suddenly mentioned this. Ningxi smiled lightly. I see. Regarding Ning Xuelua's explanation, some of the pregnant ladies around nodded in agreement. At the same time, they did not understand why Ningxi suddenly changed the topic to something completely unrelated. Seeing her daughter's sad look, Zhuang Lingyu frowned and glared at Ningxi unhappily. Ningxi, don't change the subject and stall for time. Chapter 2089. Ningxi gently touched the phone in her hand. I'm just a little curious. I didn't expect pregnant people to have such strange hobbies. A gentle and virtuous girl like Miss Ning suddenly likes motorcycles. She even rides a motorbike alone in the middle of the night when she is pregnant. Ning Xuelua's calm face finally cracked. Her face twitched violently, but only for a moment. She recovered her perfect sad and angry expression. Sister, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just curious, so I asked a professional to see it. How could I ride a motorbike alone and go out in the middle of the night? Ning Xuelua sneered in her heart. Oh, Ningxi, you want to blow me up? Aren't you thinking too much of me? Seeing that Ningxi was getting more and more outrageous, Zhuang Lingyu's face darkened. Ningxi, what on earth do you want to say by talking so much nonsense here? Even if Xuelua rides a motorbike at night, it's not your business. Ningxi shrugged and said casually, Of course it's not my business. After all, it's not my baby that she hit. The moment Ningxi's voice fell, the whispers in the room suddenly fell into a dead silence, and Zhuang Lingyu's expression completely froze. Sweetheart, please turn off the light for me. Lu Tingxiao stretched out his long hand, and the room suddenly became dark. The next second, Ningxi gently tapped on the phone in her hand, and a video was suddenly projected on the wide white wall behind them. There was no sound in this video. It was probably at night, so the light was very blurred. The video was still for 3 seconds, and then a black motorbike appeared on the projection. The moment she saw the motorbike, Zhuang Lingyu's pupils suddenly shrank. That car is the car that hit me, is the car that hit me. Although it only happened for a moment when she was hit, she would never forget the appearance of that car. After hearing Zhuang Lingyu's words, everyone was in an uproar and immediately stared at the wall. The scene in the video seemed to be a deserted junkyard. After the owner of the motorcycle got off the motorcycle, he first took off all the clothes he was wearing, including his gloves and helmet. Then he pushed the motorcycle to the ground, picked up the gasoline beside it, lit the lighter in his hand, and threw it at the motorcycle. Bang! Everything disappeared into the flames. At the same time, the rising flames illuminated the face of the owner of the motorcycle. It wasn't a man, but a woman with a delicate appearance. That was Ning Shueluo. The moment they saw the face clearly, everyone at the ward door was stunned. Everyone looked at Ning Shueluo in disbelief. Zhuang Lingyu's mouth was wide open as she stared at the screen. What is going on? How can this person be Shueluo? But that face is definitely Ning Shueluo's. When the fire was lit just now, he could see it clearly. After she took off her outer clothes, I could see her stomach. Impossible. It's impossible. This is absolutely impossible. The moment the familiar scene appeared on the wall, Ning Shueluo's expression changed. In just a few seconds of the video, she felt as if she had walked through hell. When her face was illuminated by the fire, the moment it appeared in front of everyone, she was almost scared out of her wits. Chapter 2090. Ning Shueluo's breathing was like a ball of fire. Her voice was hoarse as she said anxiously, "It's fake. This video is fake. Ningxi, why did you do this to slander me? Why would I harm my mother's child?" Ningxi didn't refute her at all. She nodded and said, "Yes, I forged this video. Not only is it fake, but I also forged your fingerprints and blood sample. Miss Ning, do you want to see it?" Ning Shueluo's face went blank. Fingerprints and blood sample. If there were fingerprints and blood sample, she would definitely not be able to explain herself. But that was absolutely impossible. She had destroyed all the traces. Where did she get them? But she had even gotten the surveillance cameras. And she had confirmed that there was absolutely no surveillance cameras in that place. What had gone wrong? Lu Tingxiao, could it be that Lu Tingxiao had helped her? "Sweetheart, give it to me." Ningxi turned her head and said softly to Lu Tingxiao. Then she looked condescendingly at the woman on the bed, who was obviously breaking down bit by bit. Her eyes were full of mockery. Lu Tingxiao nodded and handed her a brown file bag. Ning Shueluo's body trembled violently. In her eyes, the way Ningxi looked at her was like that of a ghost demanding her life. She stared at the brown file bag in Ningxi's hand, and her breathing became more and more rapid. Indeed, it was Lu Tingxiao. Just as Ningxi took the file out of the bag, Ning Shueluo looked at Ningxi's contemptuous expression, and then at Lu Tingxiao's cold eyes. Finally, the last trace of hope in her heart was gone. She closed her eyes and screamed shrilly. "It's me. I hit her. I hit the child and killed her. So what if I did it?" Her voice was sharp and ear-piercing, making one's eardrums uncomfortable. The entire ward was dead silent. Only Ning Shueluo's ferocious roars could be heard. Her hair was disheveled like a ghost. Zhuang Lingyu's lips trembled and her eyes rolled back. Ning Yahua hurriedly supported her and pressed down on her philtrum. Only then did she slowly wake up. With a pale face and trembling voice she said, "Shueluo, what are you saying? Don't scare Mom. You were talking nonsense just now, right?" Ning Shueluo's laughter was exceptionally horrifying. "Ha, ha ha. Mother. Madame Zhuang, when did you become my mother? Aren't you the mother of the son in your belly?" Zhuang Lingyu had never seen such a strange and terrifying expression on Ning Shueluo's face. She said agitatedly, "Shueluo, what are you talking about? Of course I'm your mother. You're telling me you didn't do this. It's not about whether you did the right thing or not." At this moment, the gentleness on Ning Shueluo's face had completely disappeared. Instead, it was replaced by coldness and hatred. It was the madness of a desperate person who had no way out. "It's me. Of course I did it. Because I hate you. I hate everyone in the Ning family. I'm the young mistress of the Ning family. I was born the young mistress of the Ning family. Everything in the Ning family is mine. Why did you bring back that pheasant, Ningxi? That pheasant finally left, and you guys actually made a son to fight with me for the family property. The child hasn't even been born yet, and you guys can't wait to seize the power in my hands. Why? If it wasn't for me dealing with Su Yan, would your Ning family be where it is today? Now that you have a son, you want to kick me away. Aren't the two of you planning too well? Do you really think I'm an idiot?" Chapter 2091. Zhuang Lingyu was dumbfounded. She couldn't believe it. Ning Yahua was also completely stunned. He couldn't believe that the girl in front of him was Ning Shueluo, the obedient, innocent and kind daughter in their eyes. He couldn't believe that she had been thinking like this all the time. Oh, God. No one had expected such a shocking turn of events. They were all dumbfounded. Zhuang Lingyu's baby was not killed by Ning Shi, but by the filial and considerate Ning Xiaoluo. Not only that, she drove the car to hit her mother, who had raised her for decades and loved her as her own daughter. Obviously, she was just the daughter of a village woman. Because she had been mistakenly carried away, she had been able to enjoy so many years of glory and wealth. None of this was hers. Without the Ning family, she was just a village girl in a ravine. But she actually took all of the Ning family's kindness for granted. She even thought that everything in the Ning family should be hers. Just because Zhuang Lingyu was pregnant with a son and might compete with her for the family property, she didn't hesitate to hit Zhuang Lingyu's baby to death. What was more frightening was that she had been acting like a victim from the beginning to the end, and had pushed everything onto Ning Shi. At the thought of this, everyone felt a bone-piercing chill. This woman had deceived everyone. How scheming was she? It was terrible. Ning Yahua was shocked. He was almost speechless by Ning Xuelua's absurd logic. Bastard! The Ning family has raised you for more than 20 years. They don't ask you to be grateful. How can you be so selfish and vicious? Ning Xuelua chuckled as if she had heard a funny joke. Haha, grateful? What do I have to be grateful for? I earned everything I have today with my own ability. And Ning Shi, what does she have? She just has the blood of the Ning family in her. Why did she do nothing? Why did this old man give her 10% of the shares while I didn't get any? Ning Yahua roared. But I have given you all my shares. You already have 20% of the shares. Are you still not satisfied? Ning Xuelua's face was full of mockery. Chairman Ning, don't make it sound so nice. Didn't you give me the shares so that you can unite with the Su family through marriage? Do you dare to say that these shares will still belong to me after you have a son? So you can kill your mother's child? Ning Yahua's eyes widened in anger. There was no hint of remorse in Ning Xuelua's eyes. Since you're heartless, don't blame me for being cruel. This child. You deserve to die. Ning Shi stood by the side, crossing her arms as she quietly watched the family of three fall out with each other. It was only at this moment that she interrupted. I'm really sorry to interrupt you all. May I ask, Miss Ning, this person was actually, really hit by you? Ning Xuelua glared at Ning Shi. Ning Shi, stop putting on an act. Ning Shi said innocently, but I fabricated the video. There was no surveillance camera at the section where you destroyed the body. Don't you know that? I got the special effects artist from the production team of Thunderbolt to help me create this video. It's very crude, I didn't expect you to believe it. Oh right, there are also fingerprints and blood samples. Ning Shi looked at Lu Tingxiao next to her. Lu Tingxiao opened the brown file and took out a stack of photos of the wedding hall instead of the evidence. Chapter 2092. Ningxi. Ningxi. I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you. Ning Xuelua was stunned for a second, and then she went crazy. She was not even this excited when she saw the evidence just now, but now she seemed to have gone crazy. Ever since Solomon failed repeatedly, she no longer trusted anyone. She was also worried about hiring assassins in the country. If they betrayed her and were bribed by Ning Shi, the consequences would be unimaginable. Therefore, she chose to do it herself this time. After all, it was her first time doing something like this. She was still a little flustered. When she went to get rid of the clothes and the car, she was already flustered. How could she remember the details at that time? Ning Shi's special effects simulation was very realistic. When she saw the familiar scene, she subconsciously believed it. As for the fingerprints and blood sample, if Ning Shi had taken them out herself, she would definitely be suspicious. However, it was Lu Tingxiao. Lu Tingxiao had personally handed them to Ning Shi. With Lu Tingxiao's power, even if it was impossible, it was completely possible. Therefore, she believed it almost immediately. She did not expect that. She had fallen into Ning Shi's trap from the beginning to the end. Ning Shi had been lying to her from the beginning to the end. The surveillance was fake, and so were the fingerprints and blood sample. This bitch. Ning Shi looked at Ning Xuelua, who was screaming non-stop, with a helpless expression. I told you that it was fake, but you didn't believe me. Lu Jingli looked at Ning Xuelua, who was almost going crazy with anger. He was amazed. That was too cruel. What a show. A series of reversals. It was like a blockbuster. At the same time, he didn't forget to abuse the dogs. Those wedding church photos were enough. However, all of this was not over yet. However, although those were fake, there is one thing that is real. Ningxi said as she tapped on her phone with her finger. An A4 paper was projected on the wall. Upon closer inspection, it turned out to be a paternity test report. The report showed that the child in Ning Xuelua's stomach was not related to Su Yan by blood at all. This is the paternity test report. It seems to be the paternity test report between Xuelua's child and Su Yan. Oh my god! Xuelua's child is not Su Yan's? In that instant, there was an uproar in the ward. Ningxi's gaze slowly fell on Ning Shui. As the saying goes, even a vicious tiger will not eat its cubs. What's more, I think Miss Ning is also very clear about how important this child is to you. So, I have always wondered why you did not hesitate to kill your own child to frame me. Ningxi paused and continued. I've thought about it, and I can only think of one possibility. That is, we can't keep this child. So what is the reason that this child cannot be kept? This is worth pondering. Miss Ning, don't you think so? Although it was only a short 2 days, she had done a lot of things. He sent someone to check the surveillance cameras at the section of the road where Zhuang Lingyu was hit, tracked the direction of the motorcycle, and investigated Ning Xuelua's whereabouts in the past few months. Then, she personally visited the racer, and went to look for the special effects artist for Thunderbolt, asking for his help. In addition, he had someone secretly obtain Su Yan's hair, and the blood sample of the stillborn fetus for identification. The results of the DNA test had only been sent to her mailbox half an hour ago. Everything was as she had expected. Ning Xuelua's child was not Su Yan's. Chapter 2093. Hearing Ningxi's words, how could everyone not understand? The child in Ning Xuelua's belly isn't Su Yan's. No wonder. Otherwise, how could he do this to his own flesh and blood? If the child was born, she would be finished once it was discovered. She killed 2 birds with 1 stone. Not only did she get rid of the child, but she also framed Ningxi. Su Yan was actually going to divorce her. She didn't get divorced because of the child. Who knew that the child would turn out to be? Oh my god! This woman said that she loved Su Yan to death, but she came back with a bastard. Zheng Minjun, who was staring at the projection in shock, rushed to Ningxi from the crowd and tried to snatch her phone. What did you say? The child in Xuelua's belly isn't Su Yan's. How is that possible? Ning Qiutong said impatiently, the child hasn't been cremated yet. If you don't believe me, you can do a DNA test yourself. Ning Xuelua's character had been completely exposed. Zheng Minjun didn't believe her. She was stunned and immediately attacked Ning Xuelua. You indecent woman. I was wondering why you were so eager to cremate the child. You even said that it would allow the child to reincarnate into a good family as soon as possible. So it turns out that you were thinking of destroying the corpses. Her daughter-in-law had made her son a cuckold, and was pregnant with a bastard. Zheng Minjun was about to go crazy with anger when this was exposed in front of so many people. Zheng Minjun, don't make it sound like the Su family is so noble. If it weren't for you 2 old farts who urged Su Yan to divorce me, and wanted him to marry Ningxi so that he could curry favor with the Zhuang family, I wouldn't have been forced into this situation. Since they had already fallen out, Ning Xuelua retaliated. However, she was still physically weak after the miscarriage. Soon, Zheng Minjun scratched her face. Su Hongguang couldn't take it anymore. He pulled Zheng Minjun back and roared. Enough! Haven't you embarrassed yourself enough? He had lost enough of his face today. Zheng Minjun's face instantly darkened. I'm embarrassed. How am I embarrassed? The good daughter raised by Ning Yaohua and Zhuang Lingyu. She's vicious and dissolute. You've brought disaster to our Su family. If they lose face, it's the Ning family that loses face. Ning Yaohua was already furious. Now that he was ridiculed by Zheng Minjun, he almost fainted from anger. As for Zhuang Lingyu, she was already in a trance. She kept muttering, impossible, impossible. The two families quarreled fiercely, and the entire ward was in chaos. Ning Qiutong glanced at Ning Yaohua and Zhuang Lingyu pitifully. I've told you to take a good look at what you've been raising all these years. But you were blinded by lard and were fooled by this woman. Now you've reaped what you sow. It's a sin to harm an innocent child. Zhuang Lingyu was agitated when she heard the word child. She lunged at Ning Xiaolua. You bitch. Bitch. Why do you have to harm me like this? Why do you have to harm me like this? Give me back my child. Give me back my son's life. Looking at the chaos, Lu Tingxiao frowned slightly. He reached out and gently pulled Ningxi into his arms, so that she could not see the dirty scenes. Ningxi breathed in the cool air, and the deep exhaustion in her heart dissipated. It was as if she had arrived at another peaceful and warm world. She said softly, Sweetheart, let's go home? Lu Tingxiao said, Okay. Xiao. Xiaoxi. Seeing Ningxi and Lu Tingxiao turn to leave together, Ning Yaohua subconsciously chased after them, as if he wanted to say something. But in the end he could not say a word. Chapter 2094. Zhuang Lingyu had planned to take this opportunity to seek justice for Ning Xiaolua, and then completely remove Ningxi from the family. That was why she called so many relatives here. However, she didn't expect that the truth of the matter would make her fall apart. Now that things had become like this, those relatives and friends couldn't continue to stay here and watch the drama. They all found excuses to leave. Mr. Su was physically and mentally exhausted. He didn't want to care about his eldest son's grudge anymore. He walked away shakily with the help of his servants. Back then, he had already advised them and said all that he needed to say. All the choices were made by themselves. Now, however they wanted to resolve it, he just let them be. He really didn't have the energy to care about it anymore. For a moment, only Ning Yaohua, Zhuang Lingyu, Zheng Minjun, Su Hongguang, Su Yan, and Ning Xiaolua were left in the ward. Zheng Minjun couldn't bear the fact that the son she was most proud of was cuckolded. The precious grandson she had been looking forward to turned out to be a bastard. After those people left, she didn't care anymore. She pointed at Ning Xiaolua's nose and began to scold her. Our Su family is blind. How could we let Su Yan marry a fake bitch like you? I don't know which man you slept with outside. How dare you say you are Su Yan's? Divorce. Get out of the Su family now. And don't even think about taking away a needle or a thread of our Su family. Ning Xiaolua couldn't help laughing. Do you really think Ningxi is so pure? She was knocked up by a man at the age of 18, and she said she is Su Yan's son. I'm much better than her. If Zheng Minjun hadn't been trying to persuade Su Yan to marry another woman after knowing the relationship between Ningxi and the Zhuang family at Mrs. Li's party, she wouldn't have slept with those disgusting fat rich businessmen in order to get investments and stabilize her position. If Su Yan hadn't been seduced by that bitch and didn't want to have a child with her, she wouldn't have taken the risk of keeping the bastard in her belly. It was all that bitch's fault. It was the Su family's fault. Zheng Minjun was stunned when she heard what Ning Xiaolua said. What did you say? Ningxi, that bitch, fooled around with 2 male prostitutes when she was still with Su Yan. When she got pregnant, she said he was Su Yan's son. If it weren't for that car accident, she would have given birth to this bastard. After saying that, he looked in the direction of Ning Yaohua and Zhuang Lingyu with a face full of mockery, his face full of satisfaction from revenge. Ha! You don't believe me? If you don't believe me, you can ask Chairman Ning or Madam Ning. Aren't their own daughters even more shameless, slutty and slutty? Ning Yaohua and Zhuang Lingyu's faces turned pale when Ning Xiaolua revealed the Ning family's biggest scandal in front of the Su family. Back then, they had erased all traces of this incident, but they could not erase its existence. This matter was like a nightmare to them. At this moment, a man's trembling voice suddenly came from the corner of the ward. Enough! The smile on Ning Xiaolua's face froze when she heard the voice. It's not Xiaoxi. What happened back then was not Xiaoxi's fault at all. Su Yan clenched his fists, his face full of embarrassment, and said with difficulty, Xiaoxi never betrayed me. She never fooled around with a man. She didn't. She was forced. She was framed. Chapter 2095. What did you say? Zhuang Lingyu, who had been in a trance, suddenly froze. Ning Yahua's face also changed. Su Yan, what did you just say? Xiaoxi was set up. Ning Xuelua stared at Su Yan, who spoke up for Ning Shi. Her eyes were filled with overwhelming hatred. Su Yan, even you are against me now, aren't you? Ning Xuelua chuckled. She looked completely fearless. That's right. I was the one who set her up. I was the one who drugged that bitch's drink. I was the one who prepared 2 male prostitutes for her. So what? She's just a slut who got pregnant after being played by 2 male prostitutes. Ha ha ha. Ning Xuelua. What did you say? I dare you to say it again. You drugged Xiaoxi. You sent someone to do that to her. Ning Yahua couldn't believe his ears. At this moment his body was trembling violently. Even when he knew that Ning Xuelua had killed Zhuang Lingyu's child, and that Ning Xuelua had an affair, he had never been so angry. His daughter did not go out on her own but was raped. Ning Xuelua covered her stomach, which was aching from laughing too hard. Ha! I'm dying of laughter. Ning Shi, that country bumpkin, can't even tell the difference between real and fake clothes. She obediently wears whatever I give her. I lied to her that the lemonade I used to wash her hands was for her to drink, but she stupidly drank it. That idiot, I'm afraid she doesn't even know what a male prostitute is. How could she give herself a male prostitute? Of course, the 2 of you are even more stupid. You actually believed her, ha ha. Ning Xuelua's words mixed with sharp and harsh laughter echoed in the silent ward. Zhuang Lingyu opened her mouth as if she was dumbfounded, but could not say a word. This was not true. None of this was true. What on earth had she raised all these years? What did she do to her own daughter for a beast? It was not Ning Shi who killed her 2 children, but Ning Xuelua. It was Ning Xuelua who killed her 2 children. She had harmed her son and her daughter. Ning Yahua stared at this extremely unfamiliar woman in front of him, who was like a poisonous snake, and listened to everything she had done to his own flesh and blood. Every word she said was like a death by 1,000 cuts to his body. He charged at Su Yan furiously. Su Yan, speak. Tell me what's going on. You know everything, don't you? Su Yan lowered his head in pain. I'm sorry. It's my fault. When I was in poor health, I stayed in the countryside to recuperate. Cici and I had known each other when we were in the countryside. Before I met Xueluo, Cici and I had been dating. I betrayed Cici and did something to Xueluo. At that time, my heart was on Xueluo. When I found out what Xueluo had done to Xiaoxi, I thought she was young and muddle-headed. I thought she really regretted it, so I helped her keep this secret. I lied to Xiaoxi and said that it was me that night. Xiaoxi didn't keep the child on purpose. She did it because she thought the child was mine. She had been waiting for me to come back, to give her a status. But I'm sorry. I'm sorry to Xiaoxi. I ruined her life. After hearing all this, Ning Yahua's body trembled violently and his eyes were scarlet. Bastards. You 2 bastards. How could they do this to his daughter? His own flesh and blood. In his mind he recalled the time in the hospital, the girl's desperate explanation after the car accident and her miscarriage. He recalled how he scolded and scolded her. He recalled how he had heartlessly sent her abroad for 5 years and didn't care about her at all. Recalled the cold look in Xiaoxi's eyes every time she looked at him after returning home. Recalled the words, "Father, do you deserve it?" He didn't deserve it. He didn't deserve to be her father at all. He pushed his daughter into the abyss with his own hands. Chapter 2096. Zheng Minjun and Su Hongguang didn't expect there to be such an inside story. Both of them felt a chill in their hearts. How vicious was this woman? How could she do such a heinous thing at such a young age? Oh my God! What kind of scourge did our Su family marry? Su Yan, how could you be so muddle-headed? How could you get together with such a woman? Zheng Minjun cried. Su Yan smiled bitterly. You were the ones who forced me to separate from Xiaoxi. You were also the ones who set me up with Xueluo. Zheng Minjun couldn't say a word. There was no point in regretting now. In short, she had to get a divorce. She had to get a divorce. She couldn't stand this viper-like woman staying in the Su family for another second. Ning Yahua's face was filled with rage. Bastard. I want you to die a horrible death. Haha. I want to see how Director Ning, you're an empty shell with no shares in the company. How are you going to make me die a horrible death? Ning Yahua's pupils constricted, his eyes filled with malice. You. As soon as Ning Xiaolua finished speaking, she looked at Zheng Minjun and Su Hongguang with a strange smile. Oh, and you guys. You want me to divorce Su Yan? Well, I don't mind showing the judge something even more interesting during the trial. For example, evidence of Yifeng Group's bribery? How dare you? Su Hongguang's expression changed. He never expected Ning Xiaolua to have something like that. Zheng Minjun was completely dumbfounded, her face pale. I'm telling you, you want me to get a divorce? Not in this lifetime. Unless I die, the position of Mrs. Su can only be mine, Ning Xiaolua's. The woman's fierce voice coiled around everyone in the room like a viper. All these years, the kind and innocent daughter they doted on, the smart and capable daughter-in-law they were so proud of, was a demon in human skin. Inside the black Maybach, Lu Jingli chattered excitedly the whole way. Sister-in-law, you're so awesome. You made my blood boil. Your acting was amazing. I was fooled by you. I thought all the evidence was real. Also, did you collude with my brother from the start? In the back seat, Ningxi snuggled lazily in Lu Tingxiao's arms and raised her eyebrows. Do I need to collude with my sweetheart? We have a telepathic connection. Am I right, sweetheart? Lu Tingxiao's lips curved into a smile. Yes. Lu Jingli. Pretend I didn't ask. Ningxi recalled what happened just now and analyzed. Actually, it was a psychological battle. With the special effects video and my acting skills, I was 70% sure that I could fool Ning Xiaoluo. But when my sweetheart came, I knew that I would win. Ning Xiaolua did not believe that she had the ability to do so, but she definitely believed in Lu Tingxiao. Therefore, she would definitely be fooled. Tears welled up in Lu Jingli's eyes as he was stuffed with another mouthful of dog food. Sigh, the Ning family and Ning Xiaolua are going to fight it out. After all, Ning Xiaolua still has a lot of shares in the Ning family. Lu Jingli said. Ningxi said indifferently. Do you think Ning Yaohua is a good person? Lu Jingli blinked. That's true. Ning Xiaolua was so arrogant before because she relied on the power of the Ning and Su families. Now that she has fallen out with both sides, she still naively thinks that she can make a comeback? Chapter 2097. In just a few days, the entire Ning Enterprises was in a precarious situation. Ning Xiaolua pushed aside the senior members of the company and cultivated her own power. She even publicly announced at the shareholders' meeting that she would remove Ning Yaohua from the position of chairman. However, what happened next was just as Ningxi had expected. Ning Yaohua was not a kind person. Ning Yaohua valued his reputation, and the reputation of the Ning family the most. No one expected him to be so cruel this time. He did not hesitate to go all out and expose the scandal of Ning Xiaolua deliberately killing Zhuang Lingyu's unborn child in front of the public. The shareholders' meeting overwhelmingly removed Ning Xiaolua from her position. According to the relevant regulations, the company had the right to forcefully recover her shares at the original price. At the same time, Ning Qiutong was invited back as the new president of the company. After this incident, Ning Xiaolua was completely kicked out of the company, and the shares of Ning Enterprises also plummeted. In order to avoid prison, Ning Xiaolua made a deal with Ning Yaohua, and was forced to give up all her shares without a penny. In other words, she was kicked out of the company without a penny. After the shareholders' meeting, Ning Xiaolua hurriedly left the building of Ning Enterprises. It took her a lot of effort to avoid the hungry media and return to the Su family. In the living room, Zheng Minjun was watching TV. The TV was broadcasting the news that Ning Xiaolua had killed her pregnant adoptive mother and her unborn child in order to seize power, and was kicked out of the board of directors of Ning Enterprises. Zheng Minjun heard the footsteps at the door and looked at Ning Xiaolua, who looked like a stray dog. She suddenly sneered and gloated. You're just a dog who has been proud for a few years because of the relationship between the Ning family and the Su family. Do you really think you're so important? This damn little bitch was kicked out of Ning Enterprises. She didn't have a penny of stock in her hands. Her reputation was so bad that she was despised by the whole circle. How could she shamelessly occupy the position of the Su family's young mistress? At the thought of such a person staying in the Su family, and thinking that she would not be able to meet people in the circle of madams in the future, she wanted to strangle this little bitch. Ning Xuelua acted as if she did not hear Zheng Minjun's words. She looked around and said coldly, "Where's Su Yan? Why do you care about Su Yan? Just take care of yourself. Which man would be willing to stay at home and see your face that can give people nightmares?" Zheng Minjun snapped. Ning Xuelua did not say anything. She slammed the door and drove to one of Su Yan's properties in the capital. She knew that Su Yan still had a house outside. In the past, when he didn't go home, he always stayed outside. Just as he was about to press the doorbell, he realized that the door was only ajar. Ning Xuelua pushed the door open in her high heels. Halfway there, Ning Xueluo's expression suddenly changed. From the direction of the bedroom came the faint sound of a woman moaning. Ah, that's great. Big brother Yan. You're amazing. Faster. Faster. The expression on Ning Xuelua's face changed from green to white. She quickly rushed to the door and pushed it open. Inside the room, two naked bodies were intertwined together. Su Yan, who hadn't touched her for a long time, and had even flown into a rage at her after discovering that she had used the aphrodisiac, was currently lying on top of another woman's body, madly having sex with that woman. Ah, Vice President Ning. The woman was so shocked that she peeked her delicate little face out. The moment she saw that face, Ning Xuelua's body trembled. Her face was filled with disbelief. Han Zixuan. Chapter 2098. The scene in front of her made Ning Xuelua's head spin. Her chest felt like it was filled with glass shards. She rushed over, grabbed Han Zixuan's hair, and dragged her out from behind Su Yan. "Bitch! How dare you seduce my man?" Han Zixuan screamed like a pig being slaughtered, but she quickly turned around and tore her hair away. She screamed, "Why wouldn't I dare? Vice President Ning, I respectfully address you as Deputy General Manager. Do you really think that you are still the Deputy General Manager of Starlight Entertainment? Bitch. So what if I'm a bitch? You're worse than a bitch." Ning Xuelua was mad. "Bitch. What did you say? I'll tear your mouth apart." Han Zixuan didn't care that she was still naked. Instead, she proudly puffed out her chest that was full of ambiguous marks. "Ha. What did I say? You dared to do it yourself, so why are you afraid of others talking about it? Everyone in the circle knows about your dirty deeds. Not only did you frame your adoptive mother's son to seize power, but you also cheated on Su Yan and gave him a bastard. Even a bitch is cleaner than you." There were many people in the hospital that day. They didn't dare to talk about what happened between Ning Shi and Lu Tingxiao, but the Ning family, the Su family, and Ning Xuelua's dirty deeds had been spread all over the circle. Su Yan's cuckold was comparable to the Siberian prairie. Ning Xuelua had never expected that one day, she would be humiliated by a bitch who would be considered dirty even if she sold herself. And this bitch had even climbed into her husband's bed. Ning Xuelua stared at the silent man on the bed. "Su Yan, are you crazy? How could you sleep with such a woman? Do you know how many men she has slept with?" Han Zixuan stuck to Su Yan provocatively and rubbed her plump breasts against the man's arm. "So what if I've slept with many men? I'm skilled and brother Yan likes me." "You." Ning Xuelua probably hadn't expected that Han Zixuan would be so shameless. She almost fainted from anger and screamed as she pounced on Han Zixuan. The two of them immediately fought each other. "Ah, big brother Yan, save me." Han Zixuan pleaded. "Ning Xuelua, that's enough." Slap. Su Yan pushed Ning Xuelua away. Ning Xuelua was pushed to the ground. She looked at the person in front of her in disbelief. She was about to say brother Yan, but because Han Zixuan had also called him that just now, she was so disgusted that she couldn't say it. "Su Yan, you actually yelled at me because of this bitch. How could you do this to me? Are you insulting me, or are you insulting yourself? Was it because this woman looked a bit like Ning Shi? Just because of this, he was even willing to sleep with this kind of slut? But he wasn't willing to touch her?" Ning Xuelua was burning with jealousy. Su Yan casually put on a pair of pajamas. His eyes were cloudy, and the bottom of his eyes was greenish-gray. His usually gentle face was now filled with disgust and impatience. Ning Xuelua, I can give you the position of Mrs. Su that you want, but that's all. From now on, we have nothing to do with each other. Nothing to do with each other. Ning Xuelua bit her lip so hard that it almost bled. Chapter 2099. She loved him so much that she didn't want to leave him even if she was a disgusting cockroach. But now he wanted her to be a widow. Su Yan. Hello. Hello. Ning Xuelua got up and stumbled out of the car. Unexpectedly, before she could reach the parking lot, a large group of reporters suddenly rushed out of nowhere and surrounded her in an instant. Miss Ning Xuelua, you're ungrateful and killed your foster mother's child. What do you have to say about this? Miss Ning, who is the biological father of the child in your stomach? Rumor has it that it's President Wang from Starlight Entertainment. Is that true? Even if the child in your stomach isn't Su Yan's, it's still your biological child. Don't you feel guilty for killing your own child? I heard that you wanted to frame Ningxi for the deaths of your two children. Did you frame Ningxi again and again because of your inferiority complex and jealousy? Go away. Go away. I won't accept any interviews. Ning Xuelua wanted to squeeze out of the crowd, but she was surrounded by the reporters and emotional fans. She couldn't take even half a step. Ah! Someone threw a rotten egg at her, and the liquid instantly stuck to her hair and face. Then more eggs, mineral water bottles and rotten vegetables were thrown at her. At the Lu family mansion, Yan Rui was furious. Your parents are outrageous. How can they be so muddle-headed? Ningxi said nonchalantly, Mom, it's fine. It's all in the past. Yan Rui took Ningxi's hand, feeling sorry for her. Girl, you're too naive. Just tell the Zhuang family. If it's inconvenient for the Zhuang family, you can mention our Lu family. If anyone dares to touch you, you'll suffer. With that, Yan Rui looked a little nervous and said tentatively, Ahem, Xiaoxi, Tingxiao's birthday is coming soon. As the lady of the Lu family, you must attend it. Although they had gotten along well with Ningxi, they were still worried that Ningxi would hate the Lu family and not want to appear as the Lu family's mistress. Of course, Ningxi didn't think too much about it. With her current status in the entertainment industry, it didn't matter even if she made it public. It was just a matter of time and opportunity. So Ningxi answered, Okay, Mom, I'll prepare in advance. Good, good, good. That's good. Yan Rui finally heaved a sigh of relief. You just go about your business. You don't have to prepare anything. We'll arrange the banquet. You just have to dress up nicely and show up. While Ningxi was talking to Yan Rui, a loud wail suddenly came from the small garden. Judging from the sound, it seemed to be little fatty Qi Shuai. In the past, Qi Shuai and Xiaobao got to know each other through fighting. Later on, this little guy liked to follow behind Xiaobao and pester him to teach him kung fu. The little guy was lively and energetic, which complemented the quiet Xiaobao very well. The two of them got along well. Ah, Grandma Yan. Master hit me. At this moment, the little fatty covered one of his bruised eyes and ran over while crying. What's going on? Why would Xiaobao hit you all of a sudden? Yan Rui was shocked. Ningxi was also surprised to see little Bun's bruised eye. Xiaobao definitely wasn't a child who would hit people for no reason. Chapter 2100. Seeing Xiaobao standing at the door, Ningxi waved at him. Xiaobao, come here. Xiaobao pursed his lips, squeezed his hands by his side, and then slowly walked up to Ningxi. Ningxi rubbed the little Bun's head. What's wrong, baby? Why did you hit Qi Shuai? Did Qi Shuai do something wrong? Qi Shuai almost burst into tears. Auntie, I didn't. Auntie praised you. But Master suddenly hit me. Ningxi was even more puzzled by Qi Shuai's words. You praised me? Little fatty Qi. How did you praise her? Lu Jingli's laughter came from behind. Qi Shuai glared at Lu Jingli. Don't call me little fatty Qi. I really praised Auntie. I praised her for being beautiful. Lu Jingli glanced at Xiaobao, then at Qi Shuai again. Oh. What were your exact words? Qi Shuai rolled his eyes. I said to Master, your stepmother is really beautiful. Yes, that's what I said. Lu Jingli sighed and shook his head. Little fatty Qi, you deserve to be beaten. Who told you to hurt my heart? Qi Shuai was still confused and Yan Rui coaxed him with snacks. Ningxi seemed to realize something and pulled Xiaobao to a corner. Why did you hit Qi Shuai? Can you tell Mommy? Xiaobao threw himself into Ningxi's arms. Mommy, I'm here. Mommy. She's not a stepmother. It's Mommy. The little boy's clear eyes were full of stubbornness. Ningxi felt as if her heart was being gnawed by aphids, and waves of pain came over her. She gently patted the little boy's back and said in an unusually gentle voice, it's Mommy. In the study, Lu Jingli ran to Lu Tingxiao and told him what had happened just now. Hey, Fatty Qi said the wrong thing. He said stepmother, and hurt Xiaobao's feelings. Xiaobao punched him, and now he is running to Ningxi for comfort. It seems that Xiaobao still cares about this matter very much. I think the little guy seems to be in a bad mood these days. But there's no other way. When Ningxi's identity is revealed, there will be more such things. In the eyes of others, Ningxi is Xiaobao's stepmother. When Lu Tingxiao heard this, he lifted his head from the pile of documents and looked a little startled. A moment later, Lu Tingxiao asked in a hoarse voice, How's the investigation going? Lu Jingli's expression turned solemn. Brother, you're right. The surveillance cameras were indeed tampered with. I was wondering how it was possible that there were no traces left behind. I was going crazy from the investigation. It turns out that the person had secretly cut out the few minutes in between. I've already found a team of experts to fix it. It shouldn't be a big problem. It's just a matter of time. Okay. Lu Jingli hesitated for a moment and then asked, Brother, are you going to tell sister-in-law the truth after we find out what happened to Xiaobao? Xiaobao's identity and that person, it's you. After a long while, Lu Tingxiao nodded imperceptibly. Time flew by. Soon it was Lu Tingxiao's birthday. The birthday party was arranged at the top private club in the capital, Tianquan Villa. It had been prepared for several months. Chapter 2101. The guests who came from afar stayed in the villa. The next day, the whole banquet was held in the open air on the wide lawn behind the villa. There was a dance floor, a small band, a big LED screen, and all kinds of delicious food and wine. Nearby, there were entertainment facilities such as a racecourse, a swimming pool, and a golf course for the guests to relax. There were not many guests present, but each of them was from the top rich and powerful families, including some famous foreign families. Ningxi had arrived early, wondering if there was anything she could do to help. However, Yan Rui didn't allow her to do anything for fear that she would be worried and tired. Meng Linlang had always been worried that Ningxi wouldn't be able to handle the chores of the Lu family. In the end, Ningxi didn't encounter anything. Not only did Yan Rui never make any requests of her, she always told her that she was the young mistress of the Lu family, and that she should be doted on and pampered after marrying into the family. Those chores should be done by the servants. Otherwise, what was the point of raising them? Ningxi became the most leisurely one. Holding a glass of juice, she found a quiet place to sit and wait for the banquet to officially start. The place where Ningxi was staying was near a shooting range, leisurely watching a group of young masters and ladies playing shooting not far away. Xiaoxi, you are here too. Where is Aunt Lin? Not far away, a person suddenly came towards her. His tone sounded a little surprised and enthusiastic, but it was not abrupt but just right. Today, it was rare for Ningxi to be so high-profile that she wore a long red dress, which made her look incomparably bright. Wherever she sat, even if there was nothing, there was a scene that people couldn't take their eyes off. Even Li Mayan, who was calm, couldn't hide the amazement in his eyes at this moment. Mr. Li, seeing him, Ningxi greeted him politely and then replied, Aunt hasn't come yet, so I came first. Well, do you want to go and play with us? Li Mayan invited her. Brother Mayan. At this time, an abrupt female voice interrupted their conversation. A sweet mixed-race girl in a yellow gown quickly ran over, held Li Mayan's arm possessively, and looked at Ningxi vigilantly. Is it you who charmed Brother Mayan and made him ignore me? Hearing this, Li Mayan frowned and looked a little unhappy. Lisa, don't talk nonsense. This is, I know, superstar Ningxi. Who didn't know him? Brother Mayan, I thought you had high standards. Did you fall for this kind of woman who only looks good? The girl looked unconvinced. Alyssa, Xiaoxi is my friend. Li Mayan emphasized, seeming to be really angry. The girl called Eliza curled her lips and didn't speak, but it seemed that she still didn't want to give up. Ningxi, let's have a competition. I heard from your fans that you are good at shooting. You shot all the shooting scenes in the movie The Killer. Do you want to have a competition with me? 10 bullets for the total score. It belongs to whoever wins, Brother Mayan. Li Mayan looked embarrassed. He walked to Ningxi and explained in a low voice, Xiaoxi, I'm sorry. Lisa has been spoiled by her family since she was a child. She's a little willful and has been educated abroad since she was a child, so she's quite straightforward. In fact, she's not a bad person. Not far away, Lu Jingli was setting up the venue when he caught a glimpse of the scene not far away from him. His gossipy heart was immediately ignited, and he immediately made a video call to Lu Tingxiao. Chapter 2102. Aw, brother, guess what I saw? There's actually a love rival who dares to come and mess with you on such an occasion. And it's the son of Minister Li. Ha ha ha, brother, your love rival can actually level up. Each level is higher than the previous one. At that time, Lu Tingxiao was still busy in the company. After receiving Lu Jingli's call, he took a look at the video on his phone and couldn't take his eyes off it. His girl was too beautiful today. Brother, did you hear what I said? Lu Jingli looked at his brother's expression in the video and was immediately humiliated. Fuck. I know your wife is so beautiful today, but can you please move your eyes away a little and look to the side? Have a sense of crisis, okay? Someone is going to steal your wife again. He didn't even have the heart to say the word again. On the other hand, Ningxi didn't say anything in response to Li Mayan's apologetic explanation. It's fine. Alyssa saw Li Mayan whispering to Ningxi and got even angrier. Hey, are you going to compete or not? I hate being so wishy-washy and snatching. Let's decide the winner, and the loser will quit. Or what do you want to compete in? Camellia tea art, horse riding, or swimming? You decide. Li Mayan didn't expect that Eliza would bump into Ningxi today, and even say so many inappropriate words. At this moment, he was filled with anxiety, worried that it would affect the image he had painstakingly built in front of Ningxi for so long. However, he was actually secretly looking forward to whether Ningxi would mind. So, with his ability, he could have easily resolved this conflict. However, he didn't stop Alyssa. Instead, he wanted to see her reaction. Miss Alyssa, you seem to have misunderstood something. Mr. Li and I are just friends and I'm married. Ningxi didn't want to cause any misunderstandings, so she made it clear. Alyssa laughed. Everyone knew that Ningxi was single. How could she be married? As a top artist, her every move was watched by countless eyes. If she was really married, it wouldn't be a secret for long. Alyssa said, What? You're afraid of losing face, so you're saying this on purpose? Fine, I'll take it that you're married. Being married doesn't mean that you're not thinking about Brother Mayan. If you're not guilty, then compete with me. If I lose, I won't care about you and Brother Mayan anymore. Ningxi gently turned the cup in her hand and glanced at Li Mayan, but Li Mayan had no intention of persuading Eliza. At this time, more and more people were watching. After waiting for a while, seeing that Li Mayan still had no intention of speaking, Ningxi said, Okay, let's shoot. Hearing this, Li Mayan's pupils suddenly contracted, as if he did not expect Ningxi to really agree. As for Ningxi saying that she was already married, he subconsciously thought that she was using it as an excuse to avoid conflict with Alyssa. Eliza only knew that Ningxi was good at shooting, but he didn't know that Ningxi was General Zhuang's granddaughter. He had heard from Meng Linling more than once that Ningxi's shooting skills were superb, even better than Zhuang Rongguang's. Fuck me, sister-in-law agreed. Lu Jingli was still doing a live broadcast for his brother. Chapter 2103. Lu Tingxiao sounded a little displeased. The camera. Ha! What's wrong with the camera? Lu Tingxiao said. It's crooked. Lu Jingli said. Okay, I was wrong. I'll point the camera at your wife now. Lu Jingli complained as he said. Why aren't you worried at all? Your wife is so good at shooting. She even killed Guan Ziao in seconds. Although I really want to see Cici win and slap those people in the face. But if she wins, won't she be fighting for Li Mayan? I'm so conflicted. At this moment, the young masters and ladies who were playing shooting around the shooting range all gathered around and watched with interest as the two women fought for a man. Meng Linlang had brought Ning Shi around the circle of the madams, wanting her to learn how to be the mistress of the family. Therefore, only a few people in the circle of madams knew about the relationship between Ning Shi and the Zhuang family. Among these young masters and ladies, except for Li Mayan, they only knew that Ning Shi was the hottest star in Hualand. In the upper class, some artists would be invited to liven up the atmosphere at occasions like this. As the most popular artist in Shengshi Entertainment, a subsidiary of Lu Enterprises, it was not surprising that Ning Shi was invited. But they didn't expect such a thing to happen today. Ning Shi and Li Mayan? Even with Ning Shi's status in the entertainment industry and her identity as Boss Ling, she was still overestimating herself if she wanted to get close to Li Mayan. Alyssa's shooting skills are very good. Otherwise, she wouldn't have dared to propose this competition. She has used this trick to drive away several rivals in love. Compared to the others, no one is a match for her. Eliza is proficient in everything. How can an actress be a match for a real noble lady like Alyssa? Alyssa's mother is a real royal descendant of country F. Li Mayan listened to the surrounding people's evaluation of Eliza, but his heart did not waver in the slightest. He had seen too many young ladies like Eliza, who had been taught by the elites of an assembly line since young. They had flashy skills, but their souls were boring to the extreme. Thinking of this, Li Mayan looked at Ning Shi. Thinking that she would actually fight for him, he unconsciously clenched his fists by his side. For the past few months, he had been very careful and had not broken through that layer of paper. She was the only one he had no confidence in. However, he did not expect that after Eliza's disturbance today, he would actually reap such an unexpected reward. While countless thoughts flashed through Li Mayan's mind, the duel between the two had already begun. Everyone turned to look at the two of them. The process of the competition was that each person would fire one shot until 10 shots were fired. Then the total score would be tabulated. The first shot, Alyssa 97 points, Ning Shi 96 points. The second shot, Alyssa 96 points, Ning Shi 95 points. The third shot, Alyssa 98 points, Ning Shi 97 points. After 3 consecutive shots, Ning Shi fell behind Eliza. The surrounding people all had an as expected expression on their faces. Li Mayan, on the other hand, unconsciously stiffened his back. Ning Shi was a newbie, so her condition was not good, right? But it was still early, there were still 7 more shots. The competition continued. The fourth shot, Eliza 92 points, Ning Shi 91 points. The fifth shot, Eliza 89 points, Ning Shi 88 points. The sixth shot, Alyssa 94 points, Ning Shi 93 points. Looking at this number, everyone was dumbfounded. Chapter 2104. If no one felt that something was wrong at the start, then by the sixth shot, everyone's eyes were filled with suspicion. Wasn't it too much of a coincidence? Ning Shi was lower than Alyssa by 0.1 points every time. The seventh shot, Eliza's mental state was probably affected, so she only scored 34 points. Ning Shi followed up with another shot, 33 points. Everyone's expression. Were they hallucinating? Why did it feel like Ning Shi was losing on purpose? It must be an illusion. It was more difficult to score 0.1 points every time than to score 10 points every time. Next, the eighth shot. Alyssa 98 points, Ning Shi 97 points. The ninth shot, Alyssa 55 points, Ning Shi 54 points. The 10th shot. Alyssa obviously made a mistake and only scored 1 point, almost missing the target. Ning Shi, on the other hand, missed the target directly, 0 points. On the 10th shot, Everyone watched helplessly as Ningxi deliberately missed a shot in the air. Everyone. If they still couldn't tell that Ningxi was losing on purpose, then they must be blind. Ningxi put the safety on the gun and casually tossed it to the waiter beside her. She looked up at Eliza indifferently and said, "I lost." With that, the woman in red dress left gracefully. You did it on purpose." Alyssa's face was flushed with anger. Li Mayan stood there in a daze. It was as if a bucket of cold water had been poured over his head, extinguishing all his excitement. Lu Jingli, who was doing the live broadcast, was so shocked that his eyeballs almost fell out. Fuck. Sister-in-law's skill in picking peach blossoms has reached the pinnacle. She clearly lost, but she slapped that Alyssa's face until it's swollen. "I'll be there soon." Lu Tingxiao hung up the phone. He didn't want to wait a moment longer. He wanted to see her. As the night deepened, almost all the guests had arrived. The atmosphere was getting more and more enthusiastic. The lawn was lit up like stars in the sky, giving off a dreamy feeling. Wow, it's so beautiful. In the past, Lu Tingxiao's birthday banquets were always held in hotels. It's boring and boring. I didn't expect it to be so romantic this time. I think it's for Mrs. Lu. One of the girls looked envious. I heard that Mrs. Lu will be appearing tonight as well. Is that true? I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Is Lu Tingxiao really married? I don't want to believe it either. But the news is accurate, so there shouldn't be any mistake. In fact, there have been rumors since a long time ago. It's just that the Lus have been keeping too low of a profile. Even now, no one knows who Mrs. Lu is. I just went to check on Lu Jingli, and he personally said that his sister-in-law will be coming tonight. Oh my God. Looks like I'm going to break up. It's not just you. Do you know how many women have fallen out of love? I don't know which woman is so lucky. I should say, I don't know which woman is so powerful to be able to soften a man like Lu Tingxiao. I've long heard that Lu Tingxiao spoils that woman to the heavens. Eliza had just been embarrassed and was still sulking. Ignoring Li Mayan's obstruction, she angrily walked up to Ningxi and began to question her. "Ningxi, what did you mean just now? Are you trying to humiliate me and Brother Mayan?" Hearing this, Ningxi raised her eyebrows with a puzzled expression. "Humiliate? The one who won is you, Miss Lisa. Where did the word humiliation come from?" Chapter 2105. This time, it was Lisa who provoked him first. Besides, if Li Mayan had smoothed things over just now, she wouldn't have been in a dilemma. She had been very busy during that period of time, and all her attention had been on Lu Tingxiao. Li Mayan had never acted out of line, so she hadn't noticed Li Mayan's strange behavior, and only treated him as her aunt's best friend's son. It wasn't until just now, when she saw the way Li Mayan looked at her, that she realized something was wrong. And Eliza's attitude and actions confirmed her guess. If Li Mayan had smoothed things over just now, she wouldn't have done this. She would have found a chance to make things clear with Li Mayan in private. However, Li Mayan chose to stand by and watch Eliza's aggressiveness. Since that was the case, she could only use her own way to solve this once and for all. Lisa was so angry that she couldn't speak. How could Eliza be reconciled to this? She naturally had to find another way to get back at him. So she stared at Ningxi's stunning outfit and said, "Today is Mr. Lu's birthday. The main characters are Mr. Lu and Mrs. Lu. You're dressed like this to steal the spotlight. Do you have any basic etiquette as a guest?" Ningxi's outfit tonight was indeed too high profile and eye-catching. From the moment she appeared, many people had been secretly sizing her up, especially those young girls at the scene, not to mention the rich young masters in the circle. Hearing Eliza's words, everyone also felt that it was inappropriate for Ningxi to dress like this. Usually, big stars would be invited to such occasions to liven up the atmosphere. Ningxi wasn't the only one who came tonight. The other artists were very sensible and deliberately avoided the limelight of Mrs. Lu. They were dressed very low-key, but only Ningxi was dressed in an eye-catching bright red. Bright red was an orthodox color in Hua country. Usually, on such an important occasion, only the hosts could wear it. Guests would try their best to avoid it. Ningxi's outfit was indeed not appropriate. Several rich young ladies gathered together and discussed softly. Ningxi's outfit is indeed a bit too high profile. Isn't this a slap to Mrs. Lu's face? This is inevitable. No matter how famous she is just an actress after all. How would she know so many rules? Just then, a loud commotion came from the entrance. It was the main character of the night, Lu Tingxiao. Lu Tingxiao, who had always liked to wear dark colors, was wearing a bright maroon suit today, making him look even more handsome. Perhaps it was because today was his birthday and he was in a good mood. The man's expression was not so cold and stern, but a little more lively. "Boss Lu. Happy birthday, Mr. Lu." "Happy birthday." Amidst the congratulatory and admiring gazes, the man nodded slightly and simply exchanged greetings with the guests. At the same time, he strode into the venue. The man's long legs didn't stop. Under everyone's gaze, he walked straight to the girl in the red dress, who was as dazzling as the sun. The man stood in front of the girl, his arm naturally wrapping around the girl's waist. He bent down slightly, his thin lips landing a precious kiss on the girl's soft lips. The girl's indifferent mouth instantly bloomed like a flower. She smiled slightly and said softly, "Happy birthday." At this moment, the man, who had always been as cold as an iceberg, had a faint smile in his eyes. "Thank you, madam." Chapter 2106. Above their heads were thousands of stars, and the colorful lights hanging all around gave the lawn a dreamy glow. In the middle of the venue, the handsome man and the dazzling girl in front of him stared at each other silently. This scene was as beautiful as a fairy tale. Seeing Lu Tingxiao holding Ningxi in his arms and kissing her tenderly, hearing Lu Tingxiao's words, and hearing the extremely affectionate word "madam," all the young ladies who were commenting on Ningxi's clothes just now were all dumbfounded. Eliza was still angry at the fact that Ningxi had overestimated herself and snatched a man from her. At this moment, her exquisite and sweet little face looked as if she had seen a ghost. She stared blankly at the two intimate people beside her. Li Mian's expression was even more so. The woman beside Lu Tingxiao, whom he doted on to the bone, the legendary Madame Lu, was actually Ningxi. Ningxi's words earlier on were not an excuse to get out of the situation. It was true. She was really married. After a short moment of silence, the crowd burst into an uproar. "Oh my God! Ningxi is Madame Lu. Lu Tingxiao's wife is Ningxi? That's way too shocking." In that instant, everyone seemed to have suddenly understood why Ningxi was wearing such a color tonight. She was the main character, all right. Apart from her, no one else had the right to wear such a color and outfit. It was laughable that all of them were still dressed in such a low profile, afraid that they would steal Madame Lu's limelight. No one could steal Madame Lu's limelight. Lu Tingxiao naturally allowed the girl to hold his arm as he swept his gaze across everyone present and announced the start of the banquet. "Thank you everyone for coming today. Madam and I are very honored. I hope everyone has a pleasant evening." Pleasant. It was so pleasant to see that their idol was taken. Sob, sob, sob. Lu Tingxiao's fangirls who had specially come today were stuffed with a large amount of dog food and were almost about to cry. In the eyes of everyone, Lu Tingxiao had always been an aloof person. There were even many who thought that he liked men, who knew that he would amaze the world with a single brilliant feat when he displayed his affection. It was so brutal that it made one's insides tremble. How could this be? How could it be Ningxi? Although I admit that Ningxi is very beautiful, in terms of status and family background, how can she be worthy of Lu Tingxiao? Exactly. If this was second young master's wife, it would be understandable. But this is the position of the Lu family's mistress. Unfortunately, no matter how unwilling he was, this was already a fact. Even if he didn't want to admit it, the beautiful couple not far away was really pleasing to the eye. A group of young ladies were muttering indignantly when another low voice came from the entrance. "Ah, it's General Zhuang," someone exclaimed. The old man's hair was white, but his body was strong and his spirit was hale and hearty. Even though he wasn't wearing a military uniform, he still had the aura of someone who came from the battlefield. The middle-aged man beside him had a similar aura, but it was sharper and colder, and his pair of eagle eyes had a terrifying luster. On Zhuang Zhongren's left was Zhuang Liaoyuan, and on his right was Meng Linlang, who was wearing a cheongsam and looked as elegant as ever. Behind them was Zhuang Kuer, who was wearing a custom-made dress, and Zhuang Rongguang, who was standing tall and straight in a military uniform. This family could be said to be extremely eye-catching. Instantly, everyone's eyes were drawn to them. Chapter 2107. It seems that the whole Zhuang family is here. It's true. When did the Zhuang family and the Lu family become so close? The whole Zhuang family is here for Lu Tingxiao's birthday? Everyone was a little suspicious. It's a little strange. One is in the military, and the other is in business. They are just acquaintances, right? Especially old Master Zhuang. He has never been close to anyone, especially businessmen. Why would he come to a junior's birthday party in person? But it's hard to say. The Lu family is a force that even the higher-ups are afraid of. I'm afraid the Zhuang family is no exception. That's true. On the other side, Zhuang Kuer spotted Ningxi, the most dazzling girl in the crowd. She immediately ran to Ningxi and greeted her intimately. Xiaoxi, Kuer, you're here too. Ningxi smiled sincerely when she saw Zhuang Kuer. Zhuang Rongguang, who was in a military uniform, rushed to Ningxi like a monkey and said with a proud expression, "Brother Shi, look. Let me ask you, am I handsome or not? Do I look handsome?" Ningxi looked at the young man who was becoming more and more energetic. Her eyes were full of admiration and she praised him generously. "You're indeed more handsome." Zhuang Rongguang was overjoyed when he heard what he wanted to hear. Meng Linlang gave her son a helpless look and then looked at Ningxi's outfit. Her eyes lit up. You look so good in this outfit. You're too plain. At your age, you should wear bright colors. Don't forget that you won't be able to wear them when you're my age." Seeing this scene not far away, the expressions of the young ladies became somewhat complicated. Why are all the Zhuang family members so close to Ningxi? Do you even need to ask? It must be because of the Lu family. She is the young mistress of the Lu family, the mistress of the family. Damn. What kind of luck did he have? She really turned into a phoenix when she flew up the branch. It's so unfair. All of us here are much more powerful than her. What is the Lu family thinking? How could they let such a person marry into their family? Even if they don't think about themselves, they should think about the genes and bloodline of their descendants. Ningxi doesn't deserve Big Brother Lu at all. Seeing that Ningxi was so familiar with the people of the Zhuang family, the young ladies felt even more unbalanced. They gathered in groups of 3 or 4 and whispered. Only Li Mayan, who knew the inside story, had a bitter smile on his face. How could Zhuang Zongren not hear these voices? His face changed almost instantly. Grandpa Lu had a bad temper, not to mention this matter involved his most beloved granddaughter, so he scowled and said angrily, "Who said my Sisi doesn't deserve this brat from the Lu family?" The deep and hoarse voice was transmitted into everyone's ears. The moment Zhuang Zongren's slightly angry voice rang out, the entire venue was immediately enveloped by a wave of pressure. Those young ladies who were whispering to each other didn't even dare to breathe loudly. At the same time, they all looked at each other in shock. What did General Zhuang just say? My Sisi? At this time, Yanrui came forward with a smile on her face to smooth things over. "Mr. Lu, don't say that. Xiaoxi is your granddaughter." Even Master Xianjing said that Xiaoxi will bring prosperity to her husband and family. It's the blessing of our Lu family that we can marry a daughter-in-law like Xiaoxi. Chapter 2108. Upon hearing Yanrui's words, the young ladies who boasted about their family backgrounds were all stunned. Old Zhuang's granddaughter. Ningxi is General Zhuang's granddaughter. Damn. How is that possible? So, Ningxi did not transform into a phoenix. She was a phoenix to begin with, okay? This was the #1 aristocratic family in the capital city, a top-notch military and political family. Which of the young ladies present could compare to her? Alyssa claimed that her mother had the blood of the royal family of Country F. But everyone knew that the so-called royal family was just a name. They had no real power at all. The real power lay in the military. Alyssa listened to the discussions around her. When she heard her name being compared to Ningxi's, Her arrogant expression turned into one of disbelief. This woman, and the Zhuang family. How could it be? No one would have thought that this girl, who had made her way to where she was today, would have such a terrifying identity and background. She had even married into a family like the Lu family. This Ningxi is really unfathomable. Aren't you hiding it too well? Isn't that right? Who would have thought that she had such a relationship with the Zhuang family? Speaking up to this point, the young ladies had a change of opinion. If Ningxi wanted to use these connections to climb up the social ladder, she could easily do so. But she had kept a low profile until now. It was just like what Ningxi had said when she was interviewing for Noble Perfume. True elegance and nobility did not come from using the name of a luxury brand, twirling the expensive accessories on one's wrist, or showing off one's beauty and knowledge. True elegance was that even if one's clothes were ragged and unkempt, one's nobility could not be concealed. True elegance was that even if one hid her identity and never showed off, the bloodline in her bones could not be erased. Some of the people who came today were madams in the circle. They seemed to have long known the relationship between Ningxi and the Zhuang family. At this moment, they were also chatting with Meng Linlang and Ningxi. They were very kind and friendly to Ningxi. It seemed that they were very familiar with each other. Yan Rui and Lu Chongshan's love for their daughter-in-law was obvious. Now that things had come to this point, those young ladies who were unwilling to give up had all lost their temper. Come on, don't be so sour. They are a perfect match, a match made in heaven. Yan Rui's words quelled old Master Zhuang's anger, but there was still some lingering anger on his face. When this old man, who had been in the military for half his life, got angry, no one could calm him down. When Yan Rui and Lu Chongshan were embarrassed and even Ningxi, Lu Tingxiao and Zhuang Kuo were helpless, a soft voice came from the side. Great-grandpa. When the old man saw the obedient and cute little darling in front of him, his anger instantly disappeared and turned into a face full of happiness. His cold face was filled with love. Little treasure, come to great-grandpa's side. Xiao Bao, the fully automatic mobile fire extinguisher, walked over obediently. The old and the young chatted happily, and the atmosphere was very harmonious. Seeing that the old man was finally not angry, Ningxi and Lu Tingxiao looked at each other and smiled, and they heaved a sigh of relief. Zhuang Rongguang, on the other hand, was extremely jealous and gritted his teeth at the side. Why was this little burden so favored? The next update will be a little later. Everyone, go to sleep first. Chapter 2109. On the lawn, the melodious birthday song sounded, and Lu Jingli and Zhuang Rongguang slowly pushed out a huge birthday cake that was more than 10 stories high. The audience applauded and sang the birthday song, wishing Lu Tingxiao's birthday and the family of 3. Xiaobao and Lu Tingxiao were wearing parent-child outfits today, and the father and son were wearing the same color as Ningxi's. The family of 3 stood together, which was very pleasing to the eye. Accompanied by candlelight and music, on the huge LED screen, there were pictures of Ningxi, Lu Tingxiao, and Xiaobao getting along with each other. Almost all of those photos were taken by Lu Jingli. Even Ningxi herself didn't know when he had secretly taken those photos. There were pictures of Lu Tingxiao wearing a bright royal blue suit for the first time, pictures of Ningxi cooking in the kitchen, and pictures of Xiaobao and Lu Tingxiao helping her. There were even pictures of Xiaobao's school masquerade party, where Ningxi dressed up as Little Red Riding Hood, and Xiaobao and Lu Tingxiao dressed up as Little Grey Wolf and Big Grey Wolf, which made the audience exclaim. No one could imagine that the aloof Lu Tingxiao would do such a thing, wearing cute Big Grey Wolf clothes and accompanying his son to the school masquerade party. In the picture, there was a family of 3. The girl was charming and lovely, and the little boy was cute and silly. Although the man was expressionless as usual, his eyes were full of gentleness. Lu Jingli looked at the stunned expressions of those people, and he was so happy. Ha 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 ha, I finally have a chance to show off all the dog food I've eaten all these years. Lu Jingli crazily showed off his dog food, and as he wished, all the single dogs present were stuffed to the point of vomiting. Second young master. That's enough. Stop it. Do you have any humanity? Give us single dogs a way out. The crowd was full of envy. Sigh, The three of them look like a real family when they stand together. I can't tell that Ningxi's mother is a stepmother at all. This woman can't be underestimated. She even managed to get the Lu family's young master. You should know that this young master is very difficult to deal with. In addition to envy, there were also some unpleasant voices. Someone sighed and said, although they are a good match, I don't think Ningxi will have a good life in the future. After all, it's hard to be a stepmother. That's true. She has become someone's stepmother at such a young age, and it's even in such a big family. Moreover, the young master is so spoiled. If she doesn't handle the relationship well, the conflict will not be light. No matter what, she's not his biological mother. Although he had already expected these sounds, they still sounded unusually ear-piercing. Lu Jingli saw that Little Bun's expression was gradually changing, so he hurriedly switched to another CD. He was prepared to play some interesting photos of his older brother when he was young. He wanted to trick his older brother, lighten the atmosphere, and change the topic. The LED screen turned black, and the image of the family of three disappeared. However, it quickly lit up again, and began to play another set of photos. Lu Jingli smirked. Brother, there are pictures of you naked when you were young. Lu Tingxiao gave his younger brother a sidelong glance. Lu Jingli was so scared that he hugged his head. No. The furthest he could go was just a little bit of his stomach. I know that this kind of photo can only be shown to your wife. Sister-in-law, don't worry. I'll secretly send it to you later. Chapter 2110. Ningxi glanced at Dumbass speechless. She really wanted to see Lu Tingxiao's childhood photos. Would he look exactly like Xiaobao? It was rare for second young master to show off boss Lu's childhood photos. Everyone looked up at the screen with interest. A photo slowly cut in. The background was a hospital with a sign for obstetrics and gynecology. A pregnant girl was sitting on a bench next to it. Lu Jingli's expression changed the moment he saw the photo, because the pregnant girl in the photo was Ningxi. Although the girl's face was much younger than it was now, it could still be seen that it was Ningxi. While he was stunned, countless photos flashed on the screen. They were all photos of Ningxi with her pregnant belly. The hospital, on the road, in the park. Huh? What? What's going on? Is that Ningxi in the photo? She looks very young, but it should be Ningxi. But why is she sitting in front of the obstetrics and gynecology department with a pregnant belly? Fuck. Lu Jingli's face darkened. He was about to pull out the CD when a big hand stopped him. If he stopped the video now, it would only cause more speculation, and he would not be able to explain himself. At this moment, Ningxi's face was completely pale after seeing the photo. She was in a trance. Lu Tingxiao stopped Lu Jingli from pulling out the CD. He reached out and hugged the girl's slightly trembling shoulders. It's okay. Lu Tingxiao looked at those photos attentively. He watched Ningxi walk alone, go shopping, and go to the hospital alone with Xiaobao in her arms. His brows were filled with an indescribable expression, and he unconsciously tightened his arms around the girl. Ha 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 ha. At this moment, a shrill female voice came from the crowd. A woman in a waitress uniform stumbled out of the crowd and rushed to the big screen. She screamed crazily. What daughter of a rich family? What daughter of God? This woman was pregnant by a wild man at the age of 18. And she still pretended to be pure and noble in front of you. She's a piece of trash. She's a shameless bitch. The crowd was even more shocked when they saw Ning Xuelua. That woman looks like Ning Xuelua? Yes, it's her. The adopted daughter of the Ning family. The one who was recently kicked out of the Ning family. Due to Ning Xuelua's recent incident, many people present recognized her. Thinking of her relationship with Ning Shi, everyone believed those photos even more. If it was Ning Xuelua, it would be normal for her to know Ning Shi's secrets. Did she sneak in to take revenge on Ning Shi? Who would have thought that such a big thing would happen at Lu Tingxiao's birthday party? Lu Tingxiao's wife, the matriarch of the Lu family, had such a scandal exposed. Pregnant out of wedlock at 18. Oh my god. No way. Was Ning Xuelua telling the truth? Ningxi got knocked up by a wild man when she was 18? Does the Lu family know about this? Does Lu Tingxiao know about it? Of course you don't know. Otherwise, how could he marry such a woman? It was too terrifying. As expected, the private lives of women in the entertainment circle are so messy that it's scary. Chapter 21:11. The noise and discussion around them grew louder and louder. Lu Tingxiao looked at these so-called shocking photos. His expression did not change at all from the start to the end. He looked at Ning Xuelua calmly and said quietly, "Thank you, Miss Ning, for bringing Xiaoxi these precious memories today." What? Precious memories? Ning Xuelua was stunned for a moment. In the next second, she heard Lu Tingxiao continue. "The wild man Miss Ning is talking about is me." After a moment of strange silence, everyone's eyes almost popped out of their sockets. WH. What? What does Lu Tingxiao mean? The wild man is him. Ning Xuelua's mind was in a mess. Her eyes were filled with disbelief and fear. What did you say? CEO Lu, this woman is obviously pregnant with a bastard child. How could it be? Lu Jingli rolled his eyes and laughed coldly. Haha, this lady, first you called my brother a wild man, then you called my little treasure a bastard child. I admire your courage. Lu Jingli's words caused an even bigger uproar. Little treasure? Lu Jingli means that the child Ning she was pregnant with was little treasure? Damn. Little treasure's biological mother is Ning Shi? Just now Ning Xuelua said that Ning Shi was 18 years old. According to the timing, it really matches. In the midst of the noisy discussion, Lu Tingxiao's cold gaze suddenly swept across everyone present. That terrifying pressure came from all directions, and immediately, everyone subconsciously fell silent. The entire venue was so quiet that you could hear a pin drop. After a while Lu Tingxiao said, "Everyone, I'm sorry. Because of my negligence, I've caused some unnecessary misunderstandings. Ning Shi and I have known each other for a long time, but because of some misunderstandings, we were separated for a few years. After Xiaoxi returned to the country, we got back together again." Lu Tingxiao paused, then continued, "Little treasure is born of me and Ning Shi." When she heard this, Ning Xuelua was stunned at first, then she laughed uncontrollably. CEO Lu, I didn't think that you would actually say that a bastard child is yours just to save face. It's really an eye-opener. Lu Jingli's tone was as if he was looking at an idiot as he said faintly, "Miss, your stupidity is the real eye-opener. My brother planted the seed himself. How could he not know? Previously, due to some procedures, my sister-in-law and Xiaobao did a DNA test. Do you think everyone is as stupid as you? This is impossible. That's impossible." Ning Xuelua's back stiffened, but her tone was firm. Lu Jingli raised an eyebrow. "Oh, impossible. Miss, why are you so sure that it's impossible?" Ning Xuelua was suddenly speechless. Obviously, she could not tell him the reason. She was the one who had drugged Ning Shi. She was the one who had arranged for the two gigolos. How could this be? No, that's not right. At that time, the two gigolos said that when they arrived, they realized that Ning Shi had gone into the wrong room. The person who had sex with her was a stranger. Could it be? Could that man be Lu Tingxiao? When she thought about this, Ning Xuelua's face turned pale, and her body started to tremble violently, as if she had just found out something extremely terrifying. This possibility was simply tearing her apart. At this moment, an old man suddenly walked out from the crowd. Chapter 21:12. At this moment, an old man suddenly walked out of the crowd. He looked at Ning Xuelua with extreme displeasure and said sternly, "Miss, I see that you're still so young. How can you create such rumors and slander the innocence of others out of thin air? I did the paternity test between Mrs. Lu and Xiaobao myself. Xiaobao is 100% Mrs. Lu's biological child. If anyone has any questions, feel free to come to me." The person who spoke was the old director of the Imperial Military Hospital. He was the one who treated the head of state. His words were undoubtedly a symbol of authority. As soon as Director Zhao stepped out, everyone's doubts were dispelled, and they came to a sudden realization. Zhuang Liaoyuan watched as Director Zhao stepped forward, then glanced at the old man beside him, who had been calm the entire time. He finally understood how Lu Tingxiao had convinced the old man back in the hospital, and why the old man had accepted Xiaobao so easily. So that was it. The similarities between Xiaobao and Ningxi, the intimacy between mother and son, and Xiaobao's shooting talent, which was the same as the Zhuang families, were all explained. The discussion around them suddenly became louder. No one had expected the truth to be like this. At the same time, the way they looked at Ning Xuelua changed. It's true. Xiaobao's biological mother is really Ningxi? Holy shit. No wonder. I was wondering why the mother and son got along so well. They were like real mother and son. It turns out that they are biological children. This Ning Xuelua is so funny. She came here to sow discord without knowing anything. She even called Lu Tingxiao a wild man. She called the little prince a bastard. Ningxi is also quite pitiful. Not only was she swapped, but she also had such a shameless person who took her place. Her parents are also unreliable. No wonder the Zhuang family only recognizes Ningxi and completely ignores the Ning family, and Ning Xuelu still ignores her? This kind of person should be killed by a car. It's the first time I've seen such a vicious woman. She killed her adoptive mother's fetus and she's still not reconciled. Seeing that Ningxi is living a good life now, I'm afraid she's not reconciled. She's going to continue to harm Ningxi and create such vicious rumors on an occasion like today. It's as disgusting as maggots in one's bones. There were disgusted and disgusting gazes all around, as if they were looking at a pile of disgusting maggots crawling on garbage. Ning Xuelua's face went blank. Her legs gave way, and she fell to the ground. In the past, in order to obtain the Ning family, in order to fight over Su Yan, she had racked her brains. But in the end, Lu Tingxiao and Ningxi got together. The person who slept with Ningxi was Lu Tingxiao. What made her even more incredulous was that Ningxi's child had been killed by a car. Why was this happening? That child didn't die? How could he not be dead? How could this be? No matter how she thought about it, she couldn't figure out how things had turned out this way. Originally, she was prepared to die with Ningxi, so she risked offending the Lu family to make a scene. Anyway, she had nothing left. She could never let Ningxi sit in the position of Mrs. Lu with peace of mind. But now, it's over. Everything was over. At the entrance of the venue, several uniformed policemen walked in solemnly and walked straight in the direction of Ning Xuelua. Miss, you're suspected of drug smuggling and participating in many illegal activities abroad. Please come with us. End of update. Countdown to the finale. Last wave of monthly votes. Chapter 2113. Lu Tingxiao knew that Ningxi valued affection the most. She didn't kill Ning Xuelua for the sake of her adoptive parents. But that woman was still unrepentant. Since Ningxi couldn't do it, he would do it. Late at night, the birthday party finally came to an end after all the guests had left. As soon as the party was over, Yan Rui and Lu Chongshan stopped Lu Jingli. Jingli, what's going on? Is Ningxi really Xiaobao's mother? Yan Rui asked anxiously. Lu Jingli nodded seriously. That night 7 years ago, the girl who was with my brother was actually sister-in-law. At that time, sister-in-law was drugged by Ning Xuelua. Originally, Ning Xuelua had arranged for someone to ruin sister-in-law's innocence, but sister-in-law accidentally walked into the wrong room and entered my brother's room. Yan Rui and Lu Chongshan looked at each other. They didn't expect that there would be such a coincidence in this world. Well, as you know, my brother was also drugged at that time. He and my sister-in-law were delirious and had no memory of what happened that night. My brother and I found out the truth nearly 2 years ago. Then we did a paternity test and confirmed that our guess was right. The girl who was with my brother that night was indeed my sister-in-law. However, because what happened back then had caused too much harm to sister-in-law, my brother didn't dare to confess to her that it was him. That's why he didn't tell her the truth until Ning Xuelua came out today. Then Lu Jingli explained to them why Ningxi got pregnant, and why she didn't abort the child. The more Yan Rui and Lu Chongshan listened, the angrier they became. Ning Xuelua is insane. Fortunately, it was your brother. If not, Yan Rui couldn't imagine it. It was a great blow to my sister-in-law. She has been living in the shadow for years. She kept rejecting my brother, not because she wanted to play hard to get. It was because of this that she refused to accept any man. Lu Jingli said seriously. Hearing their son's words, Lu Chongshan and Yan Rui were full of guilt. Yan Rui sighed. Xiaoxi is a good girl. It's not her fault. As Yan Rui spoke, her face lit up again. Now it's great, everyone is happy. It was great that Xiaoxi was Xiaobao's biological mother. Xiaobao will be so happy. Hearing this, Lu Chongshan frowned and said in a low voice, but Jingli just said that Xiaoxi has always hated that man. Now that she knows that man is Tingxiao. At this point, the three of them fell into silence. Dear Town Flower House. When they got home, Ningxi finally had a chance to talk to Lu Tingxiao alone. In the courtyard, the two of them stood quietly under a bush of roses. Ningxi's expression was a little fatigued. Today was the first time she had made an official appearance as Mrs. Lu. She had not expected so many things to happen. But fortunately, everything had been resolved without any mishaps. Ningxi sat down on a chair. Lu Tingxiao, how did you convince Director Zhao to help you? After she woke up from her vegetative state, apart from Annie, Director Zhao had been taking care of her body. Therefore, she could be considered to be familiar with Director Zhao. She knew that he valued his reputation and professional integrity the most. He would never cheat for others. Lu Tingxiao must have spent a lot of effort to convince him. Chapter 21:14. Hearing Ningxi's question, Lu Tingxiao's fingers tightened slightly, and he remained silent for a while. He had expected this. Although everyone believed that Xiaobao was her biological son, Ningxi thought it was arranged by him. After all, Ningxi was the least likely person to believe this fact. Sweetheart. Seeing that the man didn't speak, Ningxi looked at him suspiciously. At this moment, the aura around the man had frozen into ice, but his body seemed to be injected with turbulent volcanic magma, almost burning him up. Ningxi noticed that something was wrong with Lu Tingxiao, and her expression became slightly solemn. What's wrong? What's wrong? The roses above their heads withered in the night wind. She didn't know how long it had been. The man finally said, Xiaoxi, I didn't arrange it. Director Zhao's words are true. Ningxi's mind went blank for a second, as if she couldn't understand what Lu Tingxiao meant. What? I did a paternity test for you and Xiaobao, and the results were true. Lu Tingxiao took a deep breath, took out a report from his arms, and handed it to the girl. Xiaoxi, you are indeed Xiaobao's biological mother. Ningxi took the report from Lu Tingxiao and stared at the results at the end of the report dully. The next second, her pupils suddenly contracted and her mind went blank. Based on the test results of the 19 STR loci, it could be seen that Ningxi's genes met the genetic conditions of being Lu Qingyu's biological mother, and the probability of their parentage was calculated to be 999,999. According to the results of DNA analysis, Ningxi was Lu Qingyu's biological mother. How? How could it be? Ningxi opened her mouth but couldn't say a word. Lu Tingxiao seemed to be afraid that he would lose the courage to speak again, so he immediately continued. Xiaoxi, Xiaobao is our child. He is our child. In fact, the reason why Ning Xuelua could appear so smoothly was partly because he deliberately connived with her. In this way, he forced himself not to escape anymore. Ningxi felt as if she was in a dream, and everything in the dream was upside down. Her brain was in a mess, and she couldn't tell whether it was a dream or reality. How could it be? My child, the child is dead is dead. Lu Tingxiao's thin lips tightened. Although I still don't know why, the truth is that he is not dead. He is Xiaobao. He's little Bao. That child is little Bao. Little Bao is my child? Ningxi was in a trance. Lu Tingxiao. Yes, it's our child. Our. Lu Tingxiao closed his eyes and said in a trembling voice, I'm sorry. Xiaoxi. I'm sorry. I've known about this for more than a year. But I can't say it to you. I can't tell you, the one who hurt you, the one who made you feel pain and despair for so long, is me. I was afraid that you would leave me. That proud man actually said the word afraid to her at this moment. Sorry, that person was me. After the man said this, he just stood there quietly, the light around him dimming, like a person waiting for the sentence of death. And in an instant, all the vitality had been sucked out. You're tuning into the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.